Do you want to know how to help your child have a change of heart? I'm Nicholeen Peck, and I teach parenting and good communication, as well as how to build strong family bonds all over the world through the lens of the principle self-government. And in this video, we're going to be talking about heart changes for your child. So in this video, we're going to talk about self-government, what that is, and then we're going to talk about what you can do to help your children learn self-government, which is actually pretty much the same as having a change of heart. All right, I have a whole other video on what it means to have a change of heart. So if you haven't seen that video, you may want to take some time and look at that video so that you can really learn what goes into having a heart change. But for this video, let's just do a quick review on what self-government is and then how to set up the environment of self-government in your home so that heart change can. So self-government is being able to determine the cause and effect of any given situation and possessing a knowledge of your own behaviors so that you can control them. So what that means is that a person understands cause and effect, not just as it relates to physical objects or even their body, but how it relates to their behaviors and their connections and interactions with other people as well. So in short, their relationships with other people. So they recognize that if they are short-tempered, then people around them instantly disconnect from them and don't feel like they can trust them. In fact, the people feel like they must be getting manipulated. And more people will not understand them than understand them. They also understand that if you want to be understood, that you have to be calm. Because calmness leads to understanding. Because it is a front brain activity to be calm, and when you understand, you are in front brain, cause and effect. A person who understands self-government also analyzes themselves on a regular basis. So they possess a knowledge of their own behaviors so that they can control them. This means that they're willing to examine themselves on a regular basis and decide which behaviors will best serve them. So they actually plan for their future and then check up on their behaviors and compare it to their plans to see if they met their desired goal or if they need to change their plan to get a more desired outcome. This is a very strategic and deliberate process. There are many people who don't like to put that much strategy or deliberateness into their interactions, but those people are so often met with excuses that they create for themselves, disconnections, mediocre communications, because they never practice something better than the way they were currently doing it. If you want to improve at anything, whether it's communication, whether it's connection, whether it's problem solving with a person, you have to make a plan. When a person makes a plan and a person follows through with that plan, then a person is having a heart change. So what goes into having a heart change for a child? Children's hearts are pretty much like adult hearts, but they have less experiences, less moral training, are oftentimes more impulsive, sometimes more selfish, and really like instant gratification. So sometimes the way you present a heart change to a child is going to differ than the way a heart change from an adult happens. Very often when an adult hears something that is true, they will modify their behavior and thoughts in order to get in alignment with a truth. So a child also wants to know what is true, but they don't always see the connection between what is true and how their behavior might need to modify. So a parent has to help with this. All strong-willed children are looking for truths. They want you to bring the truths up to them so that they can feel that conviction to make a change. But the thing is, they don't always know. Because they lack life experience, they don't always know exactly how to change their behavior in order to better solve their problem or to find greater success. This is where we come in. We've had more life experience. Hopefully, we've been changing our own hearts and our own behaviors at the same time so we can help them through it. Most parents focus on behavior change instead of focusing on heart change. So when a person has a change of heart, or a change of behavior for that matter, it actually requires choice. But usually you don't choose to change your behavior unless you've had a heart change as well. So what parents should really be trying to do is target the heart and target the choice, the moment where the child gets to make a choice, helping the child recognize what choices could be made and what choice they ought to make to find the greatest success. So we're going to talk about how a parent can teach their children how to make proper choices so that they can have that change of heart. But before we do, click the subscribe button. This channel is growing. I don't know if you've noticed that. I hope you've shared it with your friends by now. But it is growing, and it is because so many people are subscribing and finding value from these videos. When you subscribe to this channel, you will help the channel grow too, so that we can keep bringing you more content. But also, you will get notified of helpful things that will hopefully help you and your children get better at self-government, solving problems, and having a happier family. So click subscribe now. And don't forget that notification bell, because when you click the notification bell, then you'll actually get notified of when a new video comes out. So let's talk about how to help children make proper choices. The first thing is they have to know it is their choice. Many children think they have to do things because, oh, my mom will kill me if I don't, or whatever. And those types of statements suggest, I'm not really choosing this of myself, I just have to. But we want the children to choose something for themselves. This helps them have full buy-in. Now, sometimes do they want to make the right decision? When you say, I need you to take over your dish, do they want to? Not necessarily, but sometimes they have to make the right decision to just do it, even if they didn't want to. But if they recognize, I still chose it, no one made me, because at any minute I could say, no, I don't want to take over my dish after dinner. And mom would say, okay, you don't want to, so let's do a correction about that. Let's talk to you about the behavior and what you need to learn about it. And then let's talk about what the correct behavior should be and why. So it's just going to open the door to a teaching moment, but we will maintain parental authority in the family, because it actually is a bad lesson for children if we don't teach them to follow parental authority. So we make sure that we do that. We teach them and we correct them, give them opportunity to follow instruction. But if they don't want to, they don't want to. And then there are other effects that come because of that. So we have a whole procedure in place. If they don't accept the correction, then we move to something called the rule of 3. And if they go all the way through the rule of 3 and they've chosen the largest of the negative consequences that we have, then even still at that moment, they're in kind of this limbo phase where there's these 3 things that we do. We repeat them about every 15 minutes until a person is ready to get back in instructional control, and we can help them have a conversation about the situation that just occurred and accept their consequences. The parents actually prepare the child to learn to choose by setting up a system where there are clear choices that can be made. They can always disagree appropriately. They don't have to do it and then this will happen, or they can do it and then this will happen. And by the way, one isn't necessarily bad or good per se. It's just that they're seeing the cause and effect of the system. Obviously, it's not a good choice to dishonor your parents. We should always honor our parents. That's the good thing to do. But if they choose not to, parents don't have to take it personally either. They just do the teaching that the system is set up to handle. So I don't have to come up with new ideas and creative ways to manipulate the feelings of my children. All I have to do is go to the system I already know, figure out which piece they need, and then start right there. And I don't have to take it personal at all. In fact, I can be very, very calm. That's the beauty of knowing a system. So they learn that every choice is their choice. Then you teach them the skills and principles that they need in order to better govern their choices. So we teach 4 basic skills to children. Those 4 basic skills are following instructions, accepting no answers and criticism, accepting consequences, and disagreeing appropriately. If a person learns all 4 of those 4 basic skills, that takes care of 99% of their behavioral problems. So that's actually a lot. So then When that person learns those skills, then we also teach them the skills that we're going to use as parents to correct problems if they choose not to use one of their skills. So this just tightens up the process so that the cause and effect can be administered in the easiest way possible. We also teach them all about calmness, what it means to be calm, not to be calm. We have them practice calmness and practice all of these skills ahead of time so that there are no surprises. This decreases anxiety, increases predictability, and helps them have all the pieces that they need in order to thrive and to be well understood in their communications with mom and dad. Probably one of the hardest things that a child can learn is how to accept a no answer and really drop the subject and be calm. And second to that would be accepting a consequence. How to really be calm and drop the subject about a consequence. How to take personal responsibility for themselves. I would say most parents are looking for a child to be soft-hearted enough to do those two things usually. I mean, some parents are even willing to put up with, okay, well, maybe they're not gonna, do their chores and follow instructions, but at least they're not gonna melt down or get angry all the time. Hopefully they can do all those things, even follow instructions, because if they won't follow an instruction from you, you can't really parent them. You're just at that point in trauma zone all the time. And it's a state of dysfunction. What can you do then? So you can teach your children how to be calm. Calmness, having a calm face, voice, and body is one of the steps in all of the 4 basic skills. And if you need help with your own calmness, I do have a whole video called How to Have a Change of Heart as a Parent. So you might want to check into that one because that could help you. But if you need help with your calmness or your children's calmness, there's also a free gift that I'd like to give you to help with that calmness. So I have something called a Calm Parenting Toolkit. And that Calm Parenting Toolkit is available on my website, teachingselfgovernment.com. You can also get to it by clicking the link in the description below this video. So there's a link that says teachselfgov.com/toolkit. This toolkit has 10 lessons in it that will give you 10 different tools that you can utilize at any moment in order to be calm when someone else isn't, to help them get calm without losing your calmness at the same time. It really is beneficial. It's the best first step to take to help your children be calm, to learn some of the words that you need and some of the skills. Now, after that Calm Parenting Toolkit, you might want to follow it up with the TSG Parenting course, because the TSG Parenting course or one of the 3-day parenting mastery trainings are the very best way to learn the entire program so you have all the pieces. But at the very least, get the calmness piece going, and that Calm Parenting Toolkit is really going to help. So click on the link to the Calm Parenting Toolkit now, and I'll see you there.